That's push ends in a fight. Yeah, there you go. I'm just so happy to be here. Okay. And the fun part is now you have two people who are trying to do this. I'm going into my feet and extending into you. You're going into your feet and extending into me. Then it becomes like dancing. A little bit like dancing in a mosh pit. Of course, eventually we define winning differently. Winning just means balanced. Right? It doesn't mean destroying anything, although that can happen. But we think of martial arts as, martial arts is to violence what practicing medicine is to illness. You become a doctor not because you like sick people, because you like people to be healthy. You become a martial artist not because you like violence, but because you don't. Got your nose. Nice.
The distraction.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a song when he said that. He just had me right where he wanted me.
You see, because look at that. I mean, that's an obvious distraction right there. Now do that, but more frame rate, less force. There. There we go. There we go. There. All right, that's called starting by winning. There. Now you started with that random thing.
Yeah.
Right? So that it can't be random. There we go. Yeah. This sort of random stuff where it's like foreplay. We don't have any of that. Right, there we go. That's it. Just go right for the kill. So this is what push ends looks like. Okay. Okay. That's where that goes. That's what push ends becomes. Okay. So it's, we look for the win. There's no beating around the bush. Okay. That's push ends in a fight. Yeah. There you go. I'm just so happy to be here. So there's a reason why we practice slowly. Right? But that's where it goes. Right?
Yes.
So and you can see it going there instantly. And you can see that now once you've understood that, when it comes to the fight, you go, oh, right, that's all it is.
But I feel I've got to the point where I can control it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I know I'm not going to hit you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's so close that...
Yeah, you touched my lip. You didn't give me a fat lip. You didn't damage my teeth. You didn't do anything. It was just like, you know exactly where it is.
Yeah, but that's always been my fear, is that if I let go...
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and that becomes the problem in the fight, because then you end up with the fear and without the control. Once you have the control, then when it becomes a real fight, then you can regulate how much you do at one time, and you are not afraid of hitting the person.
Right.
So because he's there. I know I can hit them there, and it won't hurt my knuckles. Yeah. I know I can do that. I know which way the brain's going to go so you get the feel of it.
Yeah. But in a real fight, I won't care about the guy.
You will care. You will care.
You think?
Yeah. In fact, you'll. the way you care more, but you're still willing to do what's necessary.
Okay.
Right. You get into a point where one of your best weapons in a fight is compassion.
Okay.
Right? It's the power comes from being able to see the source and the cause and the motivation behind the violence in the first place. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's like owning my space. If you're going to own my space, you need a particular kind of empathy. And the better you get at it, the more empathy you have, and the more you will feel for your opponent. So you won't just see them as the embodiment of all evil to be destroyed.
Okay.
You'll see their life history. Yeah. In that fight.
So the fight won't take place.
The fight won't take place, or if it does, you won't overdo it. Okay. Right? You will do what is necessary, and then the fight will end. right? Whereas opposed to not caring, where you just go in and say, I won the fight because that guy deserved it and I'm a better human being. You go in and you win the fight because you don't want to die, and you had to do what was necessary to win the fight. There's no animosity towards the other person. As soon as you start to hate the other person, then you become the victim of the fight.
But when you fear that you're going to hurt them,
If you're afraid of hurting them, then you become your own enemy.
yeah, that's your self-esteem.
Right. If you want to hurt them, then you're pathological.
Okay, that's the problem.
Yeah, so
I don't really want to ever hurt anybody, so it becomes like an issue of how do I defend myself? So it's that fine line I'm trying to learn.
Don't think of it as things in conflict. Think of it as harmonizing the inner and the outer. Right? You have the inward, the afferent engagement, and you have the efferent engagement. You have the nerves that's telling you what's going on inside, and you have the stuff that's telling you what's going on out there. So I can feel the engagement here, but I can also feel what's there. So I have the energy that feels the connection to the universe and the energy that engages the universe. So if I have one of those things and not the other, I've lost.
Okay.
That's the definition of losing a fight. In a way, you've separated your consciousness. You're blacked out.
Okay.
And so if you can maintain that balance, that harmony of inner and outer, then you maintain that compassionate and awareness of the other person. That also enables you to feel what they're feeling and feel what they're doing and predict their movement. It makes you a more effective fighter. Okay? So it means that you felt the changes.
Yeah.
Okay? But you do that by having compassion, not by hating them. Right? If you know your enemy and know yourself, you won't be defeated even in 100 battles. But you don't learn anything about anybody by hating them.
No.
Right? So compassion is the way that you win the fight. It's not just some idealistic thing. It's the way that you learn how to engage the universe, including compassion for yourself and for the other. And you build both of those things at the same time. Most people, if they hate other people, they hate themselves. If you lack compassion and awareness for other people, you lack that in yourself. It's not some mystical, idealistic thing. It's just a practical function of the way the mind works. So to have that kind of compassion is different from, it's not the love a baby feels for, I just love being here. No. It's not that. It's the fierce love of a parent. So it's a fierce compassion where you're out there to balance things. You can hate an illness or you can love the cure. Okay? So for here, I have this compassion and that awareness, and as soon as I lose that, then I lose the ability to change, right?
Right.
So if I do this and I come in here, I have that compassion and awareness, now I lose it. Now I become antagonistic, and I'm in a very big disadvantage all of a sudden. You feel that?
Yeah.
So you feel how you own it now, right?
Yeah.
I have to go back to feeling where that's coming from in order for me to neutralize it in time, meaning to be there before you are. So the fight, it all comes from the heart. This is a heart skill. It's that, the fascia connects everything, but the heart is what senses. There you go. Yeah. Remember Adam was doing a workshop here. I don't know if you guys were here for that.
I was here for Adam.
Yeah. So he was talking about how lots of things will teach you about fear, but martial arts teach you how to deal with hate. Okay? When you're climbing a mountain, you might be afraid of falling, but the mountain doesn't hate you. If you feel like the mountain hates you, that's you. That's not the mountain.
That's true. Yeah.
So if you're dealing with an enemy, right? Like that, then if the enemy starts to hate you, then you say, oh, that's them, that's not me, right? And if they get angry, anger is the hatred of hatred. Right? So anger can be a powerful tool, but it's like a fuel that is really good for short bursts. And then it's self-destructive. Right? So it's like any of the major demon emotions. It has its place and time. The problem is that it always ends up overstaying its welcome. And anger is something that is useful for no more than a second. and then immediately needs to be regulated. And you channel that energy into something a little more compassionate. But anger is the hatred of hatred. It's still hatred. All right, so I can go like this, like that, but I'm losing myself. I'm losing my awareness. I have to have that rapport and that compassion, and that enables me to feel, see your toes. There. If I don't have that compassion, I can't do that. If I don't have compassion, then I'm there, like that. Love you, Guy.
Glad I didn't have my tongue between my teeth.
I checked. There we go. Oh, he likes me too. It's nice to know you care. See? So this, now do that again, but without the fear. See? So the compassion, the connection. So here, there's fear here, where you're fighting against this distal pressure. Mm-hmm. That's what distal pressure is. It's force, it's fear. If you let go of that fear, and you, no, farther up your arm. Engage from, there we go. See how easy that is? And you're right there. So that's taking away the fear of this and just going back into yourself again. I'm always remember, whenever I come up with something that sounds like, oh, it's the be-all and end-all of martial arts. Oh, this is the secret. This is the way to win every fight. I'm reminded of this shaman was saying, you know, I think your English medicine is very much like our Num healing. And the Western doctor says, oh, really? How is it like scientific medicine? And the shaman said, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.